Hello, my love. Welcome, gorgeous soul. On today's Paige Cole Confessional, I'm going to talk about something that is really important, and that is getting stuck as a stripper. So, a little bit of background about how you can get stuck as a stripper, and this is something that a lot of strippers actually experience, is the feeling of getting stuck. So for example, a lot of us start at a very young age. Not all of us, but a lot of us start at a very young age. Myself, I started when I was 19 years old. And at the time, I thought I was a grown-ass woman, and I thought I knew everything. And I entered the industry at 19, and I began making, $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, working part-time, working 12 to 15 shifts a month at like 6 hours, like literally making 10 grand a month working part-time. And that is the kind of lifestyle and the kind of income that I became accustomed to at a very young age. While other people are figuring out their lives and like struggling with money or whatever, I literally am like chilling, like with making all this money, working half the time, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's so beautiful. It is such an amazing gift of being a stripper and working in the industry. But therein lies the problem, or at least what the problem for myself was, and I know that a lot of other strippers as well, a lot of my clients, a lot of my students have experienced the same thing. So you become used to the instant gratification, going into a shift, working a few hours, and leaving with a bag full of money, with $1,000, $2,000, whatever it is, $500 on a slow night, regardless, still cash money in your hand that you are walking out of the club with every single night. Instant gratification. And while that's beautiful, if in the future you want to do something different with your life, you have to understand that it's going to take time to build. Like, for example, if you are wanting to start a business outside of the club, you have to understand that you are going to be putting hours and hours and weeks and months and possibly even years into your business before seeing results. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you can open your computer and post on Instagram and start a podcast and start a YouTube channel and do whatever it is. There's no guarantee that money is going to come. Right? But you have to, there is a guarantee if you believe in yourself and if you don't ever give up on yourself. But the issue with instant gratification is that's how people get stuck, is you're so used to making money so fast that when you go to try something different, you're like, fuck this shit, I'll just be a stripper. Like, I'm not going to do this. This is a waste of my time. Like, why would I put time, money, and energy into doing something else when I could be spending that time at the club generating income? Right? And so it's a deep-rooted problem that a lot of strippers face, myself included. So for example, my story, I was going to college. I went to a couple different colleges. I went to Cal State Northridge. I went to Palomar Community College, Mesa Community College down here in San Diego. And I did probably about maybe like 2 years in total, combined with all the different stuff that I did. But my last semester at college, I remember being there, being so tired in the morning at class because I had worked the night before and I just made like $1,000, and I'm sitting in here and I was just like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know why I'm sitting here wasting my time, my resources, my energy in this class that I don't see an end result with, when I could be resting and going into work so I can make more money and save money and do something smart with my money. Right? There's nothing wrong with that if you make smart financial decisions, right? And if life goes according to plan. But what happened for me is I made the choice to stop going to school. And while you obviously don't have to have school to be successful, I didn't graduate college and I have a multiple six-figure online business outside of the club, right? But at the time when I quit and wanted to start dancing, I was like, I'm just gonna, start a business. I've started tons of businesses over the years. None of them are successful until my online coaching business. So I quit school, and then I was stripping full time. And then what happened was I started a business, and then it wasn't making money, or it wasn't working the way that I wanted to. And I would quit after 6 months or 9 months or after a year. So way too soon to start seeing results, and after a couple failed businesses, I got discouraged and I lost confidence in myself. And so I was like, well, I'll just be a stripper then. I'll just strip and I'll just make a bunch of money. And at the time I was in a relationship, and so I was like, my, fiance at the time, he'll get a good job and he'll make a bunch of money. And It's a whole nother story in itself. But so as the years went on, I lost faith in myself and I got even more accustomed to the lifestyle. And for me, you know, there was no way that I could leave stripping and go get a normal job. And I mean a normal job, like a 9-to-5 entry-level position. I could never do that. For me, that would not be satisfying to drastically cut my pay, have to work way more hours, and have someone else be the boss. Like in dancing, you are your own boss. Of course, there's managers and stuff and club rules and policies that you have to follow, but you make your own schedule. Like you are your own boss. And so for me, that would never have been satisfying to leave the club to go get a quote regular job. So I knew that in order for me to be satisfied, I had to create something outside of the club to generate as much income to replace my dancing income, which means starting a business, because I wasn't going to waste my time getting a job and working my way up the corporate ladder. That was not for me. It could be for some other people, but for me, it's not for me. You know, other people, my friends, I would see people and they would, you know, meet a sugar daddy, or they would, you know, find someone, a husband who had a lot of money or whatever. And for me, that just wasn't in the cards. Like, sugar daddy's not my thing. And also, like, just, you know, very single. And I just, you know, like, that just wasn't in the cards for me. And so I also, it wasn't in the cards for me. I knew it because during my earlier 20 years, I thought that I wanted my partner at the time. I put all of my eggs in his basket. I thought like, oh, he'll make the money, like he'll get me out of dancing, he'll save me from the club. And I put all of my energy, attention, and focus into him getting me out, when it turns out like I should have been focusing on myself, and I should have been directing all of that energy and resources and time and everything onto myself, because I'm the only person whose behavior I can control and whose mindset I have, you know, control over, and whose emotions, not someone else. So that for me was a learning lesson, and like, all right, girlfriend, if you want to get out of the club, you got to get yourself out of the club. And also it would be so much more satisfying for me to get myself out of the club. And so I knew that I had to create a business outside of the club that would generate $10,000 to $15,000 or more a month, or more obviously is the goal, which I'm accomplishing that, or more outside of the business, in order to be satisfied, in order to walk away with my head held high for myself. Now, I know not every stripper is that same way. I know some strippers desire less money, or they don't mind getting a quote normal job because they don't want to be in the industry, or they do have, you know, a husband or a partner that provides money. But I know there are also a lot of girls who are in the same exact position as me. And so I wanted to offer, I have 7 tips. That's 6, 7. I wanted to offer 7 tips on what to do if you are feeling like you are stuck as a stripper. Because I've been there. I felt stuck. It caused depression, anxiety, drug addiction, all the things that come with that, depleting my savings, credit card debt, like all that shit. I went through that, and I have come out the other side. And how I came out the other side was by implementing these 7 things that I'm about to tell you. Okay, so first and foremost, number 1, if you are feeling stuck as a stripper, the first thing that you need to do, first thing that I did, was heal my relationship with dancing. I hated dancing. I felt like I'm wasting my time. I felt like, what the fuck am I doing here? I had done it for so long, and I judged myself so hard for being a stripper for, you know, at the time 7 years, 8 years, and not having anything to show for it. Like I thought, well, if I'm gonna strip, I might as well have something to show for it, assets or house or investments or business, and I had nothing because of the choices that I made, and because of the relationship that I was in, and because of the emotional battles that I dealt with. I had nothing to show for it, and so I beat myself up so hard over that. And so part of my healing and part of my growth process was being like, it's okay, like it's fine, and I surrendered to it. And I surrendered to the fact, I was like, if I'm gonna be a career stripper, that's gonna be okay. I've done it for this long. I'm a great stripper, I can make great money, and I just surrendered to it, and I just healed my relationship, and I started focusing on the things that I loved about the industry, not the things that I hated, right? And it's those simple shifts and those simple mindset shifts that's going to make the world of difference. Like I talk about this all the time, like these simple changes over time lead to lasting results and lasting improvements. Okay, so number 1, I healed my relationship with dancing. Number 2 is I healed my relationship with money. I have an entire program. It's called Mind Your Money, Honey. It is my signature 6-week program on money manifestation. I teach all about the scientific and spiritual principles of money manifestation, how to subconsciously get rid of the subconscious blocks you might be having, how to identify patterns that you are running on autopilot and get out of that loop, and to transform and change your financial situation for good, right? So we have relationships with everything, with ourselves, a relationship with dancing, and a relationship with money. And when I healed my relationship with money, started making way more money in the club, therefore making me feel way better about being a dancer, therefore giving me way more time to work on my online business. Like, it literally all works together in a beautiful way, but it takes time. Okay, so the third thing to do would be analyze your values, like your values, not the values that you think that you should have, not the values that society upholds, not that your parents want you to have, not that your husband or partner want you to have, not that your friends. What are your values in life? What do you value? Do you value time freedom? Do you value integrity? Do you value being your own boss? Do you value money? Like, do you value integrity? Do you value community? Do you value communication? Like, what do you personally value in your life? Figure that out, and then find clarity on what it is that you want to create. If you want to create a business, you have to figure out what your values are and how those values are going to be implemented into your business, right? Because if you're an entrepreneur and you alone are the only person who's going to make this business work for you, like, it has to be something that you want to do. And I say that because I have started tons of businesses because I thought, oh, this is going to make me a bunch of money, even though I wasn't passionate about it. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to do because this looks good. When I moved home from Vegas in 2016, I got my real estate license and I got my insurance license. And I kind of was dabbling in both of them because I thought, oh, this looks good. This looks professional, you know. I know these industries can make a lot of money, but like, my heart was not in selling real estate. I love investing in real estate and I love like learning about like the market and stuff. But insurance, like, I can sell insurance, but like, that's not where my heart and passion is at all. But again, that was me doing something that I thought I was supposed to, not something that was actually in true alignment with myself. Based on results, I didn't have the success that I do now. Like, when you have massive success, it's because you're in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing. So remember that. Okay, so tip number 4 is, if you're feeling stuck as a stripper, start. You have to start. You have to start, and you have to take action on whatever it is. Even if you don't want to start a business, if you want to go and get a normal job, start applying. Like, put your resume out there, start applying. Like, be actively seeking other ways to generate money. If you want to go to school to learn something, you know, to get a degree or to like learn a trade, apply for school, apply for financial aid, enroll in classes, start taking classes. You have to take action. Years will go by wasted when you're just thinking about things that you want to do, right? If you want to start a business, take action. If you don't know what the fuck to do, take action anyway. Start doing something. Enroll in my program, Rainmaker Academy. I'll teach you all about building a business. Also, when you're taking action, this was key for me, is I was starting my business and I would be at work and it would be slow and I'd be like, God, I'm wasting so much time here. You know, but you have to view, if you are dancing and that's your main source of income, you have to view dancing as just a part of your business plan. This is funding my life. This is funding my business. And so even though it's slow, like, you have to still put the hours in there. So really being okay with dancing, even though it might be slower and you might be able to be more productive at home, you're actually being counterproductive, because if you're focusing on being home, like, all of your attention isn't at work and you probably aren't going to be generating the amount of income that you can be. So number 5 is give gratitude. So gratitude is one of the highest vibrating frequencies, right alongside forgiveness. And if I know that you probably want more out of your life and you want to create something that you don't yet have, right? But the quickest way to get there is to look around your life and give gratitude for what you have. You have a device to watch this video. You have the eyes to watch this video. You have the ears to watch this video. You have the internet. You have a shirt on your back. You have food in your belly. Like, literally go through your life and give immense gratitude for every single thing that you have, because it's important. Step number 6 is invest in yourself. I have invested well over $50,000 in myself, personal development, courses, coaches, seminars, programs, workshops, books. I heavily invest in myself because I know the power of investing in myself, and I'm also an entrepreneur, and so I understand that time is money, honey, and I can work and I can try and figure it out on my own, or I can work with someone who's doing exactly what it is I want to do, learn from them, model them, and implement things that fit with me and my business into my business, and I will get there much faster, right? Invest in yourself. And tip number 7 for if you're feeling stuck as a stripper, this is what you gotta do, okay? Do not quit. That is the most important thing. Whatever it is that you're doing, do not quit. You can pivot, you can change your mind, you can change your course, you can do something different, but do not quit and do not ever give up on yourself, ever, ever, ever. And with that, that's a wrap on today's Paige Cole Confessional. If you like this video, listen to my podcast. It's the Make It Rain podcast. I talk all about stripping, about money manifestation, about entrepreneurship, about being a rainmaker, making it rain in your own life. And make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like and comment on this video. And with that, I'll be back next week. So go out there and make it rain, baby.